Hello, everybody.
Your microphone's pointing down again.
Oh, you want to... Don't worry, we haven't started yet. We just wanted to fire the camera up here a couple of minutes early, do a little bit of a sound check and video check, make sure that everything was working. I'm Chris Scott, this is Gary Kreth, and we're with the Paperless Agent, and you are here to learn about Facebook and really the lessons that we've learned by spending gobloads of money on Facebook over the last few years. So we're excited to share that with you guys. But if you could do us a favor, and let me know if you can see and hear us just by going to the chat feature and saying loud and clear, and maybe even tell us where you're dialing in from or calling in from or logging in from.
Yeah, we want to make sure that audio, that the technology is working really well. And by the way, if you have any issues during this webcast with maybe a buffering issue or something like that, just hit the reconnect button at, I think it's at the top of your screen. And that'll refresh everything and make it better. Okay. So Harry says, I can hear and see you from Fort Lauderdale.
Sweet.
Manu is from Dallas. Linda, St. Louis, loud and clear.
All right. You know, Gary, I'm really excited to talk with everybody about Facebook today. You know why?
I have an idea, but...
Well, so, you know, we've got a lot of listings on the market right now.
Right.
And so I've been, you know, I'm constantly in there figuring new stuff out. And every time I find something that works, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I will typically share that with our clients. But in today's session, I'm pulling out a lot of the things that are working very effectively for us so that everyone here is going to learn from that and be able to sort of hopefully benefit from really, you know, I started using Facebook advertising back in 2013.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I told you the story before.
You just hit boost.
I was like a lot of folks. It was not too long after the boost button first showed up in Facebook, and I was like, I wonder what that does. You know, I mean, I kind of had an idea that it was going to do something.
Keep talking. I'm going to fix your mic here.
What happened is I hit it, and of course, nothing happened. I mean, I spent $5 is what I did, and probably a lot of other people would have said, you know, you know, didn't do anything. But you know me, I'm not
persistent.
I can be persistent. Or maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed, right? Because I keep hitting that boost post button. I must have hit that thing, I want to say 20 times. Because I think I spent on that first time, I spent over a little, like $100 on it, right? Just push, 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 push. It's got to do something, right?
What happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Other than my credit card getting charged $100.
$100.
You know? So, you know, but it was from that experience. You know, and actually I was like, I guess Facebook, this advertising stuff doesn't work. That's my assumption at the time was like, it must not work, I guess, or whatever, right? Get this. So right around that same time, I'm on Facebook like everybody else, and I start seeing ads, and they're working. Like I'm clicking on the
You're
ads.
clicking on them.
I'm like, wait a minute. This is working for other people. Why is it not working for me? And that's when I realized I must not know what I'm doing.
It wasn't Facebook. It was
me.
Operator.
It was the operator. User error, right? And so I think that is the case oftentimes with every tool, every technology. It's much easier to blame the tool or the technology than to say, maybe I should invest the time, energy, and effort to learn how to use this a little bit better. Is it driving you crazy with this?
Well, I don't want it to affect
that presentation of information
for everybody.
Hey guys, if you're just signing on, this is Chris Scott. This is Gary Kreth over here. We're with the Paperless Agent, and we've slowed down just a couple of minutes early to make sure that everybody can hear us and see us, so you can
fixing Chris's
and
mic.
He's fixing my mic so that I don't have any audio issues. Go to the chat section. Let us know where you're logging in from.
So Liz is from Alameda, Taylor from St. Petersburg, Beth is from Traverse City, Aaron from Winter Haven, Florida. You know, Florida is so smart. They have Winter Haven, they have Winter Park. You know, it's like Escape from Winter, Florida.
You know, it's good. You know, when you name cities and areas in your state to attract people from other states, that's a growth strategy right there.
All right, everybody. So,
it's top of the hour.
It is top of the hour. So here's what I want everybody to do. What's going to happen today is for the next hour, we're going to really dive into the top lessons that we've learned after spending boatloads of money on Facebook ads.
Over almost $700,000.
Almost $700,000 we've spent on Facebook ads. And the reason we want to share this with you is that we're going to show you what works. We're not going to talk about what doesn't work. We want to show you what works really, really well. And what we also want is we want you to participate. So, anytime we say, all right, go over to the chat section, let us know your questions, go and participate, because what's going to happen is after that hour, we're going to talk about some tools and resources that you can use to further your education and knowledge on Facebook. But then we're going to get into about 30 minutes of Q&A.
Gotcha.
So we really want you to engage with us, participate in the chat section. And from time to time, we'll turn chat off so it doesn't distract you, because if we get really into teaching mode, we'll disable it. So
and we'll turn it back on. Don't worry. You know, our goal here is to learn a little, have some fun, and hopefully equip you with some skills and some knowledge so that you can improve, like right after this session, like right after our time today, that you can go into Facebook and improve your effectiveness in getting results with that. And so without further ado, I'm going to take a brief moment here. I almost forgot my name there for a second. I'm Chris Scott. This is Gary Kraft.
Were you going to call yourself Gary?
I was about to call myself Gary. We're with the Paperless Agent. We're here to talk about Facebook. And there's a big reason why we're here to talk about Facebook, because it is still, by a factor of like 200%, by double or triple, the largest social media platform, bar none, out there, right? Yeah. So Facebook has more people on it than any other social media platform. I think for most of them even combined, it has, that many people. You got 2 billion people using Facebook every single day. So that's why we're here to talk about it. Now, if you guys could do me a favor, I would like to take a moment maybe to introduce ourselves just for a little bit. But while we're doing that, go over onto the chat section. And I want you to answer this question for us. What's the one thing that you would like to take from your time with us today? What do you want to take away from today? What do you want to learn? What do you want to know how to do? Tell us what the thing is that you'd like to take away from today's session, because I'm going to do our best. Even though I've got 7 lessons that we're going to communicate with you guys, and it's going to include real-world examples. We might even bust out our actual our ad account and go diving in there and taking a peek at that. Lots of examples to share with you guys, lots of campaigns to share with you guys. But let us know what that one thing is you'd like to take away with today's session, because we'll do our best to be able to deliver on that. Now, if you have questions, enter them in there. We're going to answer the questions during the Q&A. But while they do that, Gary, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you first, actually, if that's cool.
Do it.
So, Gary's been selling real estate for, 21 years now, right? 21 years as a top producing, sort of just getting after it type of real estate professional. In fact, Gary, at the height of his career, he was going on 6 listing appointments every single week. You were carrying about a little over 50 listings at that time?
50 plus listings.
50 plus listings at that time. And here's the amazing thing is Gary still sells real estate these days, like today, like right now. Before this session, we were just catching up on our real estate business together. And he was explaining to me how we got another opportunity and we're going to be doing this and got a listing presentation here. And we're going to be showing some buyers some properties here. And so we're in it, right? We're in it just with you guys. And Gary he leads our real estate team. And what's important there is everything I'm going to share with you, Gary and I work together to make sure that, hey, this works in a real estate business, right? Like this is working in our business, but more importantly is that this will work for anybody in real estate. Not just can we do it, can everybody do it? So that's important. Now, Gary has also been recognized by Apple Computer. He's a real estate investor, a real estate commercial real estate investor, a residential real estate investor, heck, a real estate tech advisor investor. And so we're going to be learning a ton of stuff from Gary today.
And this guy right here, this is Chris Scott. He is the president and my business partner here at the Paperless Agent. Chris, you have been in real estate marketing for 19 years now.
Goodness.
In fact, this guy, he started his career with Brian Buffini. He ran the consumer marketing division for Brian for 11 years.
Yes.
Then after that, you moved to Austin and you took a position as you ran sales and marketing divisions for an Inc. 500 winning company. They won this twice in a row. And in 2 years in a row. And now he's working with me in our real estate firm and at Paperless Agent to basically bring everything that we know about sales and marketing to you. And right now, Chris, I think you just said we've spent almost $700,000 on Facebook ads for advertising
over the last 5 years, really.
Yeah, not over the last month.
One time. Over 5 years, we started slow and we ramped up. So we're going to be sharing that.
Yeah. And now what he is he is the quintessential marketing or digital marketer in real estate. You know, he's managing.
Oh, you make me blush, Gary.
I know. He's managing pages with over like 148,000 people. He's generating over 6,000 leads. And the reason I say this is not to brag on him, but to share with you the expert that you're going to be learning from today. And so what I'd love for you to do is really get ready, pay attention, on. Take a lot of notes, take screenshots, heck, take pictures of your screens. We don't care. We want you to be successful. And so with that, Chris, why don't we get started? You want me to read a few things here that people want to know?
Actually, you know what? I think we ought to. No, yeah. Let's just do a couple of things so I can know what to focus on.
Okay. Melissa says better lead acquisition and social engagement. Dahlia says market my listings. Teresa says build a better mousetrap to capture leads. JJ's talking about geo-farming. And Rick is talking about stop wasting money. And Liz says how to get customers to call me. Audra wants to learn about boosting versus ads. So, you know, basically, this is all. I'm just scrolling here. We have a lot of folks here. Yep. Lori says
like
how to reach out to
here.
people. Which one?
Janet says I have ads out on Facebook with 0 leads, and I just want qualified leads. You know, I think for a lot of people, if you were to look at what they're hoping to achieve, and by the way, trying to achieve the same thing here as well,
sure,
is how do I, you know, on one end of the spectrum is, all right, I have listings and I need to market these listings more effectively. So that's one. But then there's the other side of the spectrum, which is, hey, I need qualified business to work with, right? I would like to be going on appointments. I would like to be showing homes. And I know there's a step between that, between where I'm at today before that happens. And, you know, one of the things we have to be really careful with when it comes to anything, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's heck, email, text messaging, whatever, the yellow pages, one of the things that we have to be very careful of is that we don't place an expectation or something that we want, i.e., qualified leads, and match that up with not so much the wrong tool, but the wrong strategy. See, there's a lot of different ways to use Facebook. But if I were to just boost posts, for example, and have the expectation that qualified leads will, you know, pump out of the system, it doesn't work that way.
No, you're going to be disappointed.
You're going to be very disappointed. Yep. It really requires understanding what that message, the right message is, what the right person is for that message in the right time. Now, we'll get into that. But with that, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start sharing my screen, guys, because a lot of what I have are real world examples of what's working for us. And so you're going to need to see my screen. So I'm just going to click this button. You let me know when my screen's up.
Just hold on.
All right, are we live?
Yeah, you can hit hide there. And,
okay, so let's go ahead. We already talked about all this introductory stuff. I did want to point out, Gary, when I was saying we spent almost $700,000, I think I took this screenshot maybe yesterday or the day before yesterday, and we were at $693,393 in this particular account.
This account. We have several ad accounts.
Yeah, so it's probably over 7 at this point. But anyway, I didn't want you guys to think that we were blowing smoke up your tushies when we said that we had spent that much money on it. So that is actual real number that I took a screenshot. So let's go ahead and just dive into the first lesson that we learned. And this one, I want you to pause for a second, because whenever I mention video, a lot of times people are like, did he just say video? You know, like, cool it. Bear with me for just a second, because I've got 7 lessons.
Right.
Not all 7 lessons you're going to want to say, oh, I'm going to do that. You might only pick 1 or 2 of these lessons that we're going to share with you today, and that's okay. In fact, if you invest, you know, an hour and a half today with us, and you just take 1 of the lessons and you can use that to expand your business or expand your results, and it was definitely worth the 90 minutes that you spend with us. So the first lesson is to use video.
Now, why is video so important here, Chris?
Facebook did a study. I mean, everyone's doing study these days about the effectiveness of video and the effectiveness of video in marketing. And here's what Facebook found, is that if people watch just a couple of seconds of video, just a few seconds, that there is an impact on the brand awareness, on our ability to recall who is that person, who is that company, yep. Oh, they exist in this world.
You know, it makes total sense to me, because as I scroll through Facebook, I don't even have to turn audio on or anything. If it's an effective video,
right, I
remember it. And even if I just keep scrolling,
well, that's what they found. So if somebody watches a video for just 10 seconds, there's a 65% impact. If somebody watches it only for 3 seconds, there's still over a 30% impact. And that's huge for us.
It is huge for us, but you know what's also interesting is you shared me some statistics on some of our videos. People are watching 3 or 4 minutes of our videos.
It's amazing how much video people will watch. You know, there's a lot that goes into it, but I think more than anything else is to start. And I'm just let me show you some examples. When I talk about video, we've got lots of different examples to show you guys. One of the ways that we're doing it, of course, market real estate. What the heck? You know, we got listings, we got real estate. We should be marketing real estate. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go out and do some really high.
Yeah, this does not mean you have to go hire a videographer and spend $1,500 shooting a video of a property.
I don't know if I have it in here, but I can definitely show some examples. Like Gary has examples where he's done just a walking tour, holding his phone, going through the property, right? And so we put that on there. This is an actual one for one of our listings here that I took a screenshot of. In fact, I think you can see this one. Let me look at the deets here for this one. I've spent a little bit more money on this one because it is a $6 million listing.
Right. Well,
so, I mean, usually we won't spend quite that much, but the results on this video are amazing. So for those of you who are interested in marketing real estate, know that video works great. I spent $70. We reached almost 7,000 people.
And got 426 people to click on the link and go to the website.
To learn about that property. And so here's the thing. It works really well. This is just one example. And I think this campaign I still have running in our ad account. Now, you might say, well, gosh, I don't know how to do those high-end. Like we hired a person to do this particular video.
On this one, it's a $6 million property, but you don't have to do that.
No,
in fact, Facebook has created some really amazing tools.
Well, even using Facebook, you can take photos and create a slide share video using 3 to 10 photos, and you can drop music in. But here's something a little bit more homemade that I shot, which was just going into a property with my phone, and I just layered a little music into it. And again, having this video out there, this one was even, I only spent like $8 on this guy, and got 768 3-second video views.
And by the way, this is not just for branding and
No. I mean, why is this so important? Well, why is video so important? Well, in real estate, Gary, you always tell me that our goal is to build trust.
Write that word down. The reason your customers will hire you is because of the level of trust that they have with you.
So building trust, video is a very powerful way to build trust. Why is that? Well, if you do, and here's an example of another ad that we ran, if you do something like this where you're just sharing real estate tips, right? You're just sharing real estate tips. What it does is to the people who are viewing it, and I'm very selective of who I place our videos in front of. If I'm marketing a listing, I want to make sure I'm getting in front of buyers. If I'm doing our real estate tip stuff, I got to make sure that it's people in our database, people in our sphere of influence, people in our farm areas that we're trying to focus on. And so by producing videos like this, it builds trust because who looks like an expert?
The person who has the knowledge and shares it.
People who are willing to share what they know and to do so kind of confidently. I mean, look at the camera, try to know what you're talking about. There's a lot of quick tips to it. But
a quick tip here is that if you're deathly afraid of being in front of a camera, get in front of a camera with somebody else and ask them to ask you questions. And then you're just having a conversation.
Well, it's amazing how, too, just practicing a few times, a lot of time it's just getting over the initial hurdle. If you were to look, and these days you don't have to get a camera. You're looking at your phone. I mean, how many of you have taken a selfie before? We've all taken a selfie before. So it's kind of like a long selfie where you're just talking to your phone for a while, right? But don't be afraid to consider doing something like this because, again, very, very inexpensive to get this in front of folks, and it builds a tremendous amount of trust.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm seeing some questions from people who are brand new agents. If you're brand new, you can still do this. In fact, if you're brand new and you don't have any listings, are you going to talk about the just?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got another campaign for you.
If you're brand new, you don't got listings, don't you worry.
It's not a problem.
And in fact, that's the first lesson is using video. The second lesson that we learned is that we must be marketing real estate on Facebook, right? Like that's just you have to do it. Now, you may not have listings, and we'll address how to do that and how to cover that in just a moment. But part of building trust. So if you look at Facebook, and the way I look at Facebook is instead of looking at it as kick out qualified leads, or just market a listing, is that if you take a step back and say, what am I really trying to accomplish here?
Yeah, what's the objective?
Right? So even if I weren't using Facebook, but let's say I was going to go the old route of just getting out there and pressing the flesh, so to speak, to go out and prospect, I still know that taking a step back, I have to build trust.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's you
That's
have
the
to build
name of the game.
trust.
Yep.
And so one of the ways to build trust with the people who know you, the people who are going to refer you, the people who are past clients who might either work with you again or refer you, or people in that farm area, is what better way to communicate your competence as a real estate professional by having them see you sell real estate, right? Like that's proof.
That's the proof, and proof is in the pudding,
right? That's the evidence that you can do it, is by doing it, right? And so now they can't go with you everywhere every time you show a home, or but they can see you marketing real estate. So it's very, very powerful. So what am I talking about here? Well, the format that I like to use is I'll create, and you can see an example on your screen here where we have an ad in Facebook.
Right. And now there's a whole process to this, right?
Well, and I'll dig into it as much as I possibly can.
Okay.
In this example you see on your screen here, I'm using a multi-image ad. I tend to favor multi-image ads versus video when I'm marketing real estate, but I don't just limit myself to those. Sometimes I'll do a post. I'll actually create a post and promote that post. But the most effective version that I currently am loving is when I create a multi-image ad or I use a video. And what happens is when they click on that ad, they go to a landing page on my website that has more information about it.
Of course.
Right? So you can see I'm actually encouraging people to click on this ad to go see more photos, go get the address, right? I don't give them all the information. I'm really trying to tease them into clicking from the ad over to the website, right? Because that's where some of the magic happens.
So your objective is get them to the website to see more information.
See more information. Now, a lot of people don't realize that this is an opportunity to do a couple of things. One is, if you're using advanced tools like the Facebook Pixel, I've pixeled them and I can start continuously inviting them back to our website.
Got it.
I need to have call to action buttons on there so that if I want to lead generate, they have to be able to
schedule an appointment, learn more,
exactly,
call
right?
me.
They have to be able to request information or engage with us on that. And you're going to get a percentage of the people who view, if you do it right and your landing page is right, you're going to get a percentage of the people who go there.
You know what we should do during Q&A? Let's actually, so during Q&A, I'm just going to pose this.
Sure.
Let's actually show them some landing pages.
Yeah.
Okay.
We might even, I don't know, I realize we're already 18 minutes in this presentation. I'm not even done with the second lesson here. But this example, this ad, I spent $40 for this particular ad that you're seeing here. $40 reaches 2,500 people. A lot of people will say, oh, Gary and Chris, I don't have any listings. What do I do right now?
And this is for you brand new agents. This like, pay attention right here.
This next one is actually going to be for somebody who maybe hasn't had a listing or doesn't have a listing right now. And then I'll talk about I'll ask Gary to talk about what to do for brand new agents. But let's say you haven't had a listing, or you don't have a listing right now, or it's been a couple of months. What can you do? Actually, one of our clients was like, hey, I have an idea. And he shared with me his idea, and he put this together. This is from Ted Williams. And he was like, let's do a recently sold I'm going to do a recently sold campaign. Yep. And what he did, he just went back over, I don't know, 6 months, a year, and he just put together the listings. And so each one of these cards that you call, this is a multi-image ad, but each card, when you click on it, takes you to a different landing page. So you can see there's one for recently sold, and he's got another one. And this, as you're scrolling through this guy, what you're seeing is that it's showing just different listings that he sold over, the last year or so. And when they click on it, it takes them to a landing page about that. So that's marketing real estate. I'll give you another one. And this is one of my favorite ones right now. And you'll see that I always have favorite campaigns. It's kind of like
because that's what's working for you.
It's what's working. It's what I like. I also, I know it's like a weird thing, but like when I get real creative and it does something good, I'm like, wow, man, that worked really cool. So this is a completely different type of ad, which is, I know, I promised we were going to talk about. Let me go back. I promised we were going to talk about what to do if you don't have any listings.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. If you're brand new or you don't have any listings right now, what you can do is go to your broker and say, hey, broker, do you have a list of homes that the brokerage has sold recently that I can advertise that we as a brokerage sold? And I'd like to advertise these on Facebook and draw them to my website. And then you take those homes that have recently sold, you create these ads, and drive people to your website. But you got, I mean, you absolutely have to talk to your broker.
Must get permission. You know, another alternative that Gary has suggested is host an open house for another agent in the office and let them know, this is what I want to do. I want to host, you know, that listing that you have is really awesome down on whatever street, and I'd love to be able to hold it open. Here's what I'll do for you. Not only will I do the open house, I'm going to run a bunch of campaigns. I'm going to drive traffic to a landing page that I create, and I'll even give you a report of the information so you can pass that along to the seller. Right, so that's a what's in it for them. So here's another example of marketing listings. This particular version, this particular campaign does require that you have a website that has IDX in it.
Which, if you're not familiar with that, that's Internet Data Exchange.
It's basically where someone can go to your website and search for listings. And so this ad shows and promotes View Westlake Homes. That's an area of Texas, or area of Austin. Gary actually lives there. View Westlake Homes for sale under $1 million, right? So people click on this, and it just takes them to our website where there's a page that has all of the listings. Now, like I said, it requires IDX feed going into a website. Not all of your websites have that, but that's just another campaign. I love campaigns where you can spend a little bit of money, in this case like $57.42, and start getting results for like at the level of 24 cents per result.
Yeah, and by the way, one thing I want to point out is this is really critical to drive the traffic to your website. And it is a numbers game at this point, because what's the average conversion of people to your website that take action?
On average, historically, Google reports that it's between 2 and 3%.
Okay, so 2 to 3% of people who land on your website will actually take some sort of action with it.
They're not going to buy. They're going to take action, provided that you've done an effective job of making those offers of help. Where was I going? Oh, I see. People will oftentimes say, well, who should I market this to? And this is a big problem that people have, and why a lot of folks don't get good results is they're taking a very unfocused, unmeasured, untargeted approach, meaning that they have this message, and it might be the right message for somebody, but they're not putting the message in front of the right people. You know, I mean, I could have the most amazing message in the world. Let's say we have a home that's worth $1 million, and I got a flash sale that home for $200,000, but it has to be a cash offer. Right now, if I just blanket that to everybody, not everyone has 200 grand that they can just pony down. Right. Let's say it's $300,000 or $400,000, right? But there is somebody who's right for that message, who's going to view that as value. Like, oh my goodness, let's go right now. Hop in the car. We're going to go buy this thing right now. You know, probably an investor, right? Or just anybody who wants to get a good deal, right? So the key here is getting it in front of the right people. So how do we use Facebook to get it in front of the right people? That's really the question that you should be asking. With every one of the ads that you put together, anything you put on Facebook, you should be asking yourself the question, who is this for? Who's the right person? And what is the message? And am I getting that message in front of them? Now, if I'm just putting the message on Facebook without selecting who I want to see that ad, I'm wasting money. You're wasting money because it's getting in front of unqualified people. So now when we market listings, I got 2 audiences that I currently use. And I'll just share with you one here, and then maybe I'll mention the other one a little bit later. Now, here's a really cool feature with Facebook. It's called the audience feature. So it's within the Ads Manager tool. This is where you create ads, okay? This is where you create ads. You go to the audiences feature, and you can actually create what I call what Facebook calls a lookalike audience. And you know what it'll do? I could tell Facebook to go find a list of people just like my clients.
That's awesome.
And it'll go out, and you can see how to do it. You go to Facebook, go to the audiences, go to create audience, create lookalike audience, and then it has prompts for you to select the source. And you create, basically Facebook will go out and create a list of people just like the people you said you wanted. So if you want people like your clients in your database, you upload that. Which is absolutely perfect, because I do want more clients just like my current clients. And so what better way, and you know, these are features that people just really, because they're just scratching the surface on using tools like Facebook. In fact, it's a good time for the poll that we put here. What's your experience with Facebook ads? We've got 3 different, we're going to pop a poll up here. Let us know. I've tried Facebook ads. So I'll just read it. I've tried Facebook ads and they've never worked for me. I've never tried Facebook ads, and then I'm crushing it with Facebook ads. So let us know, and I'll share the poll results in just a second. So once you create an audience, once you tell Facebook to go build a list of the people like your clients already, you know, it becomes available for using in your marketing campaigns. And this is actually, Gary, this is yours. So I had, I have our 2.1 million people. Now that's, I would love 2.1 million clients. Now you do have to narrow it down, not all, you have to narrow it down a little bit for finding people in the audience area, but this is just one of the ways that you can start using Facebook. Now, later on in today's presentation, I'm going to share with you how you can get access to our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program, which shows you really all the ins and outs of how do I get up and running on Facebook, how do I create ads. So later
you even train like advanced on pixels.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's all in there, but I want to keep, we still have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lessons to cover. So I don't want to talk about this product right now. I want to talk about it a little bit later. And I do have an amazing special offer that you are going to want to hear so that you can get access to this product.
All right. So poll results here, Chris. 50% have tried Facebook ads and they've never worked for them.
That's the most common experience.
Almost 50% have never tried
that's
Facebook
interesting.
ads.
Well, you guys, you're in for a treat, because by the end of today's session, and here's the thing, for those of you who've never used Facebook ads, this is going to be like fire hose situation.
Yeah, but don't freak out,
because
there's a very systematic approach, and it's actually easier.
Yeah,
than
this is a skill just like anything else. I mean, the first time you went on a listing appointment, you had to get some skills. The first time you might have started sending emails out, you had to get skills. I mean, the first time you picked up a golf club, you needed to get skills. Like, all of these things are just like anything else. There's a way to get effective, and that's like using programs that we offer. But I think even just by using some of the things that we share today with you guys, you will be able to see not only the effectiveness, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
For everyone who said that I've tried it and it hasn't worked, I want to add a little point in the future, maybe after this next lesson. I want to see if you've learned something you didn't know already.
Awesome.
But I want to wait until we go a little bit further in today's presentation. So a third lesson that we learned was to use tools like the Facebook Messenger app and the Facebook Messenger campaigns when marketing to people who know you. And this is a really big principle on Facebook for all marketing, is that I could market to people who don't know us, but I find that if they either know us or know of us, or in a small geographic area where it's likely that they will get referred to us,
right,
like the return on investment on marketing to that group is significantly higher.
Well, it is, because you already have some level of trust built with them.
Right, and so using a tool like Facebook, it just puts that trust on steroids. It's so much more effective just to turn your marketing and your Facebook marketing to the group of people who somehow know you, right? It doesn't have to be a past client necessarily. It's just like there's an area of influence. I guess it's called sphere of influence, right? And we like to call it your database or your network. But when you direct these campaigns and using a tool like Facebook to that group, it really has such a much more effective result than just trying to put stuff out on Facebook and then hoping for the best.
Well, let's show them how to do it.
Let's here's one example. So one of the things that we do on a regular basis is I call it our MVP, our monthly value program.
Right.
And so we communicate with our clients some useful information every single month. Here's a sample month where we're communicating about real estate investing. Now, instead of just sending stuff out via email or just posting things on Facebook, I will create an ad version of this content. So now the key thing is the content has to be valuable. I can't just be marketing.
Which is why you call it the monthly value.
Right. Yeah. So I have valuable information which buys the attention, right? And so I'm specifically creating a campaign that's offering value so that our clients will experience value. And here's the thing, if they have a question about it, or if they want to get more information, in this case, it's why in real estate investing makes dollars and cents. And if they want for us to create for them a list of Gary's top investment picks, they just hit send message. Now, here's the thing. It's not like you're going to get a gazillion people responding because you're marketing it to your database, but you're making it easy for people who know you to engage in dialogue with you about something that's real estate related.
Now, one thing you mentioned is that we're not just posting this on Facebook. We're creating an ad. We're getting it in front of people who are in our database, but we're also emailing this to them.
Yeah, we're sending, we communicate this in every which way possible.
It's just there's so much power by having it in a Facebook feed, because how many people just delete their emails?
Here's the thing. Well, let's say they get an email, and you actually encourage people to leave a voicemail or to make a call, to follow up. But people are busy. But let's say they're like, you know what, that information was useful, but then like, I'll get around to it later. Well, later they forget about it. They're like, at the time they saw your email, or at the time that they saw your first offer of help to send over an investment report, it was like, oh, that's cool. And then, what the rest of the day happened, they got home, and then it's 8 o'clock at night, they're wiped out, and they've forgotten about it, but then they're on Facebook, just kind of chill. And then they see the ad, and they're like, oh yeah, I meant to ask Gary about that.
And all they do is click one button.
Right. So when they click on that send message button, and the great thing about when you create a messenger campaign in Facebook ads is you can pre-populate stuff, and you can actually program responses so that when they click on it, you can send a message back.
It's an autoresponder.
It's like an autoresponder. And so what this really does is it implements this concept that we talk about, omnipresent marketing.
Yeah. So this is really, really important. So what Chris is talking about, when he first introduced this to me, I'm like, this is incredible, because I just historically have always just sent out a newsletter. It used to be printed, then it was emailed, and that's all I did, with the exception of phone calls, right? But now you have this thing called omnipresent marketing that technology allows us to utilize. Can you explain to everybody what is omnipresent marketing, and what are the different kind of venues that we use?
Well, here's the thing, Gary. In this age, in our lifestyle today, technology driven, fast pace, people texting, messaging. How long? I mean, do you remember everybody that you talked to last week?
Oh, of course not.
Right.
No.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, do you remember who called you?
No.
Do you remember 4 weeks ago who sent you an email?
Nope.
All right. So the thing is, if we just do one thing, unfortunately, it gets lost in the competing for attention. Now, the only way to break through that is through consistency.
Yes.
And consistency in showing up in all places at all times. And so what I want us, for our clients in our database, I want them to always see us in the peripheral vision of their life. Now, that doesn't mean I want to be harassing them in their face all the time, knocking on their door, but I want to make sure that they're getting an email, they're getting a voicemail, they're seeing Facebook ad, they're seeing us on Instagram, they're seeing us on Messenger. Heck, they'll see a sign in the yard from when they're driving the neighborhood, and they see one of our signs in the yard, right? So that just over the course of their regular living life, they're constantly just getting little reminders of, oh, Gary sells real estate. Gary sells real estate.
That is omnipresence. Omnipresent marketing. Like if you learn nothing else today, omnipresent marketing is critical, and consistent marketing.
Well, here's what happens. So they have a conversation with somebody they know. So somebody that has seen this has a conversation with somebody they know. And that person tells them, I've been thinking of moving.
Yep.
You know who's top of mind? You are. You are like right there.
And that's the whole goal with marketing, is to be top of mind.
Well, what happens is a lot of us think oh man, if I send an email and do this stuff, maybe I'm just sending too much information out. So then we let 6 months go by, we let 12 months go by. Next thing is 2 years, and we're afraid to send something because it's been 2 years since we talked to them. They think that we're going to think we're like, jerks or whatever. And so then we don't. And then when that person has that conversation with somebody who tells them, hey, I'm thinking of moving, we actually don't enter into their field of consciousness at that point because it's been too long.
Okay, so as Chris keeps going, I'm going to unmute chat, and I'd love it if you would do what Chris was talking about, is share with us the one thing you've learned so far.
Yeah, tell us, have you learned something new yet? By the way, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to go ahead and show you another little trick here. I mentioned that you could upload your database to Facebook and start marketing to them. This is how you do it. You go to the audiences, you go create audience, and then you select customer file when it prompts that, right? And you can see there's lots of other types of audiences that you can create. Now, you are going to need your database, and all you need is phone numbers and email addresses and a CSV file, and you just drag and drop that, and it'll go and find all the emails and phone numbers that it can reconcile and create a list of the people that you've uploaded to Facebook. And so that's how you implement that campaign. And I'd be curious, have you learned something new? For those, this is especially for those of you who had tried Facebook and it didn't work for you. Have you learned something new yet in our first 3 campaigns? And what was it? And that sets us up for getting into lesson number 4.
Yeah, by the way, also keep your questions coming, because we are going to get into Q&A at the top of the hour in the next 30 minutes. So, all right, activating clients from your database. This is, oh my gosh, I love this one.
Well, here's the thing. This is really connected to the previous lesson that we learned. So one of the things that we learned is that omnipresent marketing, use Facebook and everything else at your disposal to constantly be in front of your clients. Well, when you consistently provide value, remember, I didn't say be in front of your clients just asking for business. I said be in front of your clients providing value, right? That's why that one campaign using Messenger was just providing value, and it opens a dialogue. It's how awesome is it to be able to just constantly remind people and have messages coming to you from those folks. And so When you do that consistently, what we found is it gives you the opportunity to activate clients with some more direct marketing, right? So if you're providing value on a regular basis, now you can come back and make an offer of help designed to sort and qualify the people who are receiving your marketing to say, I am interested in that, okay? So I like to refer to it as activating your database. Now, a little side note about this is that, and one of the reasons why I'm sharing this is the type of campaign that I'm gonna share. It's the content of it is really the main thing here, but the format of it is also important. So I'm going to share you guys, essentially, there's a campaign type called a lead generation campaign. The reason why it's so important is that 56.5% of Facebook users only log in from a mobile device.
Yeah, that's
right.
Me.
Right, and so if that being the case, they are not going to fill out long forms requesting their email address and so on and so forth. But there is a campaign type called the lead generation campaign, where instead of having to jump through all those hoops, when people view it in the Facebook app, it's just like, oh, I want that, click. And in fact, I'll just show you the example of what a lead generation campaign looks like. And we're gonna focus on both the ad format as well as the ad content, because the ad content is what activates the clients. If you get my, if you know,
yes, of course, yeah,
right?
It's got to be enticing. It's got to be something interesting. It has to be like, oh, I want that,
right? So in this case, we have this Facebook ad, and this is a lead generation campaign objective type. And when people click on it, it pops up this little lead form, okay? And then it pre-populates their contact information, so they don't have to fill it out. It's like easy done for them. And then there is a thank you page that it will send them to, and then you get the notification, right, saying, hey, someone filled out this form, and then you can direct them to a website or wherever you want them to go at the same time. And so it just makes it super easy for someone to be able to access information from you. This campaign is ideal when you direct it towards your database, and if you've got like a farm area that doing.
Yeah, and by the way, we'll talk about geographic farm areas during Q&A, because I got a question about that. Now, Chris, one thing I want to mention here is that this is an excellent campaign to implement if you've kind of neglected staying in touch with your people.
Well, here's the thing with something like this is it is giving your clients not only a reason to work with you again, more importantly, it's giving them a reason to refer you.
This is a referral tool.
This is a referral tool. So, you know, let's say, assume we're staying true to lesson 3 and we're implementing the campaigns on a regular basis. And then what happens is that people are you're going to be able to send information to them that's a little bit more direct, but more importantly, because there's only a small percentage of your database that's going to buy at any time. It might be 20% or so, 1 in 5 folks. However, they know 150 to 300 people, and within that group, they're also going to have a group of people who are moving. And so each person in there represents, but they need a tool to refer. In this case, we offer the Move Up Homebuyer Program. And the Move Up Homebuyer Program is just an offer of help. And it looks something like this. Thinking of moving in the next 18 months, take advantage of our Move Up Homebuyer Program. When you sell your home with us and buy another one within 90 days, you'll get a credit towards closing costs to move up on your next move. So this, again, it gives, and it says, oh, by the way, if you have a friend or family member who's thinking of moving because of you, I'd like to make this program available to them. And so it just gives them a reason to say, oh, I had that conversation with so-and-so, and let me get this information over to you. Now, Gary, we are quickly running out of time here. It's already like 40 minutes into this presentation. I'm only on lesson number 5.
Well, so let's roll through
Let me just like start kicking up the gas here. The lesson number 5 that we learned here was to use Instagram.
Wait, I thought this was all about Facebook.
Well, there's a lot of people don't know this. You guys probably know this, so you're here, so I'm assuming you guys know this, but Facebook bought Instagram.
Right.
And then they not only bought Instagram, they started to put their hooks into Instagram, and they started putting the same ad platform into Instagram, so that you can actually go to Facebook ads, create one ad, and it shows up both on Facebook and on Instagram.
Right.
Very, very powerful. Why Instagram? I mean, Instagram has like close to 1 billion users now. I think they're like, last reported it was 900,000 or 1 billion users or something like that. Back last year, they were already at 700 million. I just haven't updated this chart. No, I couldn't find an updated chart for it. But why is Instagram so important? Well, I mean,
Instagram has 58 times more engagement than Facebook and 120 times more than Twitter.
Yeah.
And so this doesn't mean stop using Facebook.
No.
It just means start using Instagram as well.
Additive.
Yeah, but what I love about this, Chris, as you said, is that I can create one ad, and with a click of my mouse or a button, it will post that same ad on Instagram.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm using this pretty much the exact same way that we're using Facebook for marketing our real estate business. We market open houses, we market listings, we market a website, we market videos. The only difference is when I go to Facebook, and you can see from your screen here, when I create what's called the ad set. Now, I know that's advanced language for a lot of you, but just there's a part of the process when you're creating an ad where you have to specify the budget and who the ad is going in front of, and then where it's going to show up. And so you can see from your screen there, and maybe you have to zoom in a little bit, but Instagram is just a checkbox. Like, oh, I want this to show up in Instagram too, check, okay? So it's not difficult. In fact, there's one option just to leave it as let Facebook decide where to place the ad, and usually it'll choose Instagram if it thinks it'll make sense to show it there. And so, it's not like you have to do much more, but here's the lesson to take away in addition to saying, oh, I should check that box, is just take into consideration the format. It's slightly different. Pay a little bit more attention to the images and graphics, which you should be doing anyway, right? But better quality images tend to perform better, okay? Videos tend to outperform photos. And so just take those things into account. It's really the same principles, but you want to look at it and say, all right, I'm going to show this in Instagram. What should I do there? Now, gosh, Gary, we're running out of time. So I need to get on to lesson number 6 and then 7. And then that way I'll give us some time for Q&A. So lesson 6, we're going to shift gears a little bit here because one of the lessons that we learned is Facebook's awesome. Facebook's great. It works for, helping us cultivate business. It works for us for, marketing listings. But here's one of the things, and how many of you guys would like to get more listings?
Everybody,
right? I mean, that's not even a question to ask. Now, people will oftentimes say, well, how do I use Facebook to get more listings? Well, the question that we really have to understand at first is, how do I make a better promise to begin with?
Absolutely. So this is not about using Facebook to generate the sellers. It's about using Facebook and your know-how, your knowledge about how to market on Facebook to convert sellers into hiring you.
Before you can go out and start attracting more sellers, you need to have a superior promise in the marketplace. So here's the thing. What happens is that we look the same to most folks. To most sellers, most agents look the same.
Exactly.
And so they always go down to, well, will you discount your commission?
The number one reason why sellers ask you to discount your commission is they think that we all do the same things. So what we have to do is we have to get much better at making much better promises of what we're going to do to market the home. And so this is what we call differentiation. You have to differentiate yourself from your competition, and this is an incredible way to do it.
Well, according to the National Association of Realtors, every year they do a study and they ask buyers and sellers to submit a survey, and every year they ask sellers the same thing. What's the number one thing that you want your agent to do for you when it comes to the home sales process? And every year it's the exact same answer. The number one rated or the highest prioritized thing that sellers want us to do is to market the home.
Right.
I mean, go figure. That's the thing that they don't know how to do. Right. Now, here's the other thing is right now they think we all do the same thing. Put a sign in the yard, put in the MLS, and then pray that it sells.
Right.
And so what we can do is we can leverage that fact. We can leverage that point. And in your listing presentation and in all your communications is to be able to explain to them, this is how I market a listing. Right. This is how I use tools like Facebook. This is how I use tools like my website. This is how I use tools like pretty much all the things that we just talked about today. And that's part of your competitive advantage.
Yeah, now this is a slide from my actual listing presentation. And what it shows is how we are going to advertise their home during a pre-launch campaign or pre-MLS, if you're allowed to do that, on Facebook, and then drive them to our landing page.
Or you could call it my Just Listed campaign. And we show them this is where a picture tells 1,000 words, because you're showing up and you're saying, yeah, we run Facebook ads as well as a bunch of other things, and we're driving traffic to a landing page. And that's just part of how we're going to kick things off. But then we're going to use all these tools at our disposal to be able to market that listing. And so for you, Gary, I mean, when you do your listing appointment and you use these slides, you're having a conversation about what you do differently, or what we do differently as a firm, by using tools like technology, right?
Absolutely.
When you're sharing this, what are people's response to that?
Well, I hear a lot of different things. I'm like, they say, wow, that's so cool. I had no idea you did that. And so as I'm sharing this, it is, when you hear words like that, those are trigger words that make me realize, okay, I'm going down the right path here because I'm building trust with them. If they're like, whoa, that's so cool. I had no idea you did all of that. Tell me more. That is building trust.
Let me flip that question. What has happened when you didn't
Oh, come on, man.
What has happened when you didn't communicate the things that we do?
So when I didn't communicate that, number one is I don't get the listing, even from a friend that I used to play poker with for 7 years. I played poker with him every Tuesday night for 7 years, and he hired somebody else because I didn't make these promises to him. I just assumed that he would hire me because we were friends, and so I didn't go through and show him everything that I was going to do.
You asked him, Gary actually asked him, he was like, dude, why is there somebody else's sign in the yard?
And he said, because you don't market homes online. And I'm like, what? Of course I do. And he said, well, I didn't know that.
I didn't know. Whose fault's that, right?
Yeah.
That was our fault. So we're in the listing presentation, there are multiple slides addressing this concern about how do we market differently, how we're using social media, how we're using tools like Facebook. What are we going to do to answer that question? Now, here's the amazing thing is that when you first set out your plan or your process of what you're going to do and what you're going to say, now you've got a better quality promise to begin with, right?
Yes.
Now you can start going back to your database, back to your sphere of influence, back to the campaigns that you're running and say, all right, now that this is the real promise that I'm making, can I improve the quality of promise that I offer to people, whether they're home buyers and sellers? And in fact, that leads us to the 7th lesson, which is to use a property marketing plan to show your competence.
Yep.
I mean, a property marketing plan is pretty straightforward. It's a document that just explains everything that you're going to do.
Yeah, now this is really, really important to utilize and to share with your prospective sellers because they need to see it. They need to see every single thing that you are going to do to market and sell their home. And by the way, you need to include every common practice that's used in real estate and every uncommon practice that you're going to use.
Now, Gary, we have this property marketing plan. When do you give it to clients?
So this is a huge thing, is I will email it to them after my initial phone consultation.
All right. So
but this is before I show up to the listing appointment.
Wow. Why?
Because I want them, number one, is remember the word trust? I want to start building trust with them before I even show up for my listing appointment. So by sharing this, our marketing plan with them, they read it and they're like, oh, wow, look at all this. Second reason, differentiator, is because I know that they're going to be interviewing other agents. And so as they're interviewing other agents, I want this top of mind and I want this in their head and they're thinking, well, this agent isn't doing what Gary says he's going to do.
Aren't you worried about them taking this and giving it to somebody else?
No, it's never happened. Right. And even if they do, so what?
Right. Well, that person probably couldn't implement what you're doing anyway.
They probably couldn't. And, if they copy it, that's fine.
Right. So we're sharing, we have this property marketing plan. Ours is about 10 pages, I want to say, all said and told, that outlines the entire process. And again, you're sharing it before you even show up on a listing appointment. Now, what happens on the listing appointment? Do you reference it? Or
I absolutely do reference it. So in the listing presentation, I go through everything and I'll reference that and I'll ask them if they have any questions about it. And this is the common answer. They're like, no, it's very clear what you're going to be doing to market our home.
So now here's the thing is that they're seeing the difference that you make, that what you're going to do differently. So you've differentiated. You've shown them everything that's involved, which they probably did not have the transparency into what you were going to do to market a listing, so that if the question were to come up now, will you discount your commission? Like, you have all this evidence of why you won't be discounting.
And here's the thing is that question rarely ever comes up anymore now that I've implemented sending this out and I have my new listing presentation. By the way, I've been working on my listing presentation for 21 years. And I think I've got it nailed, like dialed
pretty good.
in.
It's pretty dialed in.
Pretty good. And so now that I'm doing that, and then also making the promises of how we're going to advertise their home on Facebook and Instagram, and I show them the statistics of how powerful that is and how many people we can get their home in front of, it's almost like a shoo-in. And in fact, by the way, I recently went on a listing appointment where I was competing against 7 other highly competent luxury agents. And I shared this with my clients, and And they hired me. And I asked them, I said, do you mind if I ask, why did you hire me against these 7 other agents? And they said, this marketing plan was so succinct and so specific of exactly what you're going to do. Nobody else shared anything like this with us. We're hiring you because of this.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's move on, because I did mention that I wanted everyone to understand how they can get access to our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program, and that we were going to make a special offer, so they're not going to pay a fraction of the price to access it. So if you want to take your Facebook advertising results to the next level, meaning you want to implement the same campaigns that we're running and start seeing better results, then you're going to want to go through this online self-paced program where you get up and running on Facebook. In fact, in our program that we offer, you're going to learn everything you need to use the Facebook ad platform. I think there's 6 different modules in there, starting with how to brand your page, all the way through how to create ads and different campaign types, and even how to do advanced features. There's advertising templates and checklists, so you can literally just follow along in the program while you're creating Facebook ads in the Ads Manager platform. Here's just a few of the campaigns that are in there: just listed campaigns, open house campaigns, lead generation ads, messenger ads, branding ads, getting referrals. I mean, there's pretty much, if we're doing it in Facebook and it's working for us, we're going to show you, and we show you how to do the same things that we're doing in Facebook. So, lots of folks report back to us that they're getting tremendous results by using tools like Facebook. I mean, Facebook happens to be one of my favorite ones, because out of the spectrum of tools that are out there, it's pretty easy to learn, and it's not that expensive to be able to produce a result from it. And we get lots of client reports from that. But I've got a special offer for everybody, that you can get our Facebook program and start Facebooking like a boss. When you join our club, you'll get the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program for only $67. Now, our club is a monthly program. Now, I want to share with you what's included in the club, and I will let you know I've got a couple of bonus gifts that I'm going to throw in. I'll tell you what they are in just a little bit. But when you join the club today, you're going to get some extra bonus gifts in addition to that Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program. Now, our club is going to give you an entire marketing campaign every single month. So we talked about that MVP, or monthly value program. Every month, we're going to give you a blog post for you to post on your website. We're going to give you a PDF newsletter that you can share with your database and share with your contacts. We're even going to give you a cover letter and prospecting emails to be able to send out, so that you can implement these same monthly value campaigns that we're implementing in our own business. We'll give you Facebook posts. We'll give you Instagram posts and Pinterest posts. Heck, we'll even give you a script, so that you can use that script to be able to stay in touch with folks. And of course, you'll use that Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program to create ads around it, so that you can implement that same concept of omnipresent marketing within your sphere of influence. In addition to getting a campaign or the monthly value program delivered to your inbox every single month, you're also going to get a marketing website. The marketing website has landing pages. In fact, it's got, if you don't have a website to be able to market your listings, it has landing pages for your listings. There's lead generation landing pages, and we'll even post a blog post. I just pulled up Gary's here real quickly. We'll even post a blog post on your site every single month that's going to help you implement that monthly campaign. In addition to that, you're going to get access to Gary, myself, and our whole team on live training sessions twice a month. We'll talk about Facebook, updates to Facebook. We'll talk about what's working on Gary's listing presentations. We'll talk about what marketing we're sending out to our database and what's getting good results. And we'll give you the examples and templates every single month. We'll do that. If you can't catch it live, don't worry. We record them and place them online, which is where most people view it, is in the training library. Because of the way we do our training twice a month, we end up producing countless, literally hundreds of downloadable tools, templates, and resources to save you time. Everything from home buyer and seller guides to checklists and templates and so on and so forth. You can easily cancel online the club, hassle-free, no questions asked. There's no contract or commitment when you join the club. It's just $67 a month, and you're going to get all of those features that I just mentioned, plus that Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program. Now, when you sign up today, I've got 2 really cool things to share with you. The first is, when you sign up today, I'm going to give you Gary's listing presentation template. Right? This is a huge upgrade to what you have. Not only will you get the template, you get the training on what to say for each one of the slides. It's going to save you a tremendous amount of time, and it's going to look good. And you don't even have to use all of the slides. You could just go in there and start using some of the slides. but you will, I mean, they're going to ramp up the quality of their listing presentation because they're going to use your 21 years of experience.
Use the 21 years of experience. In fact, we give you scripts and dialogues of exactly what to say on every single slide. So this right here, this is my passion, my love, is this listing presentation and sharing how to be a master of sales.
Yeah. So we're going to throw this listing presentation template in as well as the training when you join the club today, so that not only will you be able to use Facebook, now you'll be able to talk to sellers more effectively about how you're going to use tools like Facebook to market your listings. And we get so many report backs from our clients. Here's an example from Will saying, great session, can't thank you enough. Our business has already more than doubled since joining the Paperless Agent. We love hearing success stories like that, but I did mention I was going to give away another gift.
Yes, you did.
So when you sign up today, not only will you get Gary's listing presentation template, I'm going to give you our digital property marketing plan.
So this
template.
answers so many people. Pamela said, how do we get a copy of the 8-week marketing plan? This is how you do it.
Join the club today. You'll get a copy of this. These templates that we provide, they're in both Mac version as well as PC version. And so you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to modify it and make it your own. It's going to save you a lot of time. I know, because it took me a week to make this originally for our own business. And so it just takes a lot of time coming up with all those details. It's going to save you time because you can just go in there and edit out what you don't do and edit in what you do. And you can literally by this afternoon have yourself a marketing plan to start using on your listing appointments. And so that is included when you join that club today, where you're going to get access to this template as well. I wanted to share a client story here before we wrap up and get into the Q&A session. I'm assuming we have a few questions.
We have a lot of questions.
So Teresa asked the question. I just want to say a huge thank you to the Paperless Agent team. Thank you, Gary, Jordan, Chris, and the whole team behind the scenes. We actually tripled our income in 2017. We sold over $9 million, all because we followed the Paperless Agent plan. We started doing open houses again and followed the sales action plan to reignite our client contacts. We'd been with another office for 13 years and never had this level of marketing material. And so thank you, Teresa. Now,
hold on, I want to point something out. They tripled their income.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, when you do the stuff and it works and it happens, and you know, it's all about consistency, right?
It is.
So join our club today. Join it right now so you can get access to that Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program, and so you can download Gary's listing presentation template and the property marketing plan when you sign up right now during this presentation. And with that, I know you probably popped up an offer. Take care of that real quick because you don't want the time to get away from you. We got a little bit of time on Q&A, and then you know, we're back to, we got to go work.
I got to go sell some houses.
We got a real estate business we got to tend to, so we'll have to like jump on that.
All right. So what I did is I popped up that there's a little pop-up over there. It's a blue button. It says Join Club Now, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to a site. You're going to sign up. It's $67 a month. You can cancel at any time. And as soon as you sign up, what's going to happen is you're going to instantly receive an email from us. And that email is going to allow you to log into the dashboard and download the listing presentation templates and scripts, download the property marketing plan template, and start your training. And here's the other thing. You get to learn everything about what we do in our business that works. We're sharing you everything. So in our two group coaching sessions every month, we're sharing everything with you. And you get access to all of that. So go sign up right now. You're going to get that email. If you do not receive that email, just go check your spam filter. It's probably hanging out there. And if it's not there and you're using Gmail, it is probably in your promotions tab. So it's hanging out there somewhere. Go find it and sign and log in and get started. So with that, Chris, as everybody is signing up, I'm going to go over and take a look at some Q&A.
All right,
because we got a lot of questions here. Tracy says, your real estate is based on U.S. Do you have anything for Canadian realtors? Absolutely. So absolutely everything we're doing works in Canada as well. And in fact, anytime that we have blog content or e-newsletter content or marketing campaign content that is specific to the United States, we create new content for Canada. So you're getting Canadian specific information. And by the way, you're in good hands with us because about 12% of our 15% of our coaching club members are our friends to the north. So you are all set there. John has a question. Can you customize the listing presentation?
Well, yeah, it's in Keynote and PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So just pull it up in Keynote or PowerPoint. Yeah, you're going to want to change it. You don't want to have Gary and my picture in there, right? So you want to put your information in there, drop your logo in that guy, and it'll be ready to go.
Andrew says, well, that just effing rocks. Awesome, Andrew. Love it. Catherine says, do club members have the ability to ask questions? Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So we have email support. During our coaching sessions, we have a lot of engagement and interaction with you. So absolutely. And by the way, if you're unable to attend one of our group coaching
they get
sessions,
recorded and then posted into the membership site, but there's a lot of ways to get support. You know, let's say you're running into some issues creating your Facebook campaigns. You can email into the support team, and they'll make sure you're a client, and then they'll go ahead and answer your question. And then also, like I said, we do 2 group coaching sessions every single month. It's on the first and third Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can hop on there and ask questions. It'll either be Gary, myself, or both of us, and we'll answer as many questions as we can. There's another place, and probably the most effective place for you to ask a question, which is in our private Facebook group. Because we have a private Facebook group. It's the Paperless Agent Coaching Club. Just go to Facebook. It's a private group. You have to be a client and request access, and our team will verify. But there's thousands of people in that group who are extremely generous with their time and with their knowledge. In fact, there's many times I go in there and I'm constantly seeing stuff. I'm like, oh, I got to implement that. Oh, that's a really good idea. Or that's a good question. Because, you know, the Paperless Agent is, you know, it's more than just me and Gary, and it's even more than me and our team. It's actually a community of real estate professionals all going in the same direction, trying to do the same thing, which is to grow our real estate practices, right? We want to be able to be more successful in real estate. We want to sell more homes. We want to work with more customers. Mm-hmm. We also want to do so in an uncrazy way, so we don't like put ourselves into sort of crazy mode and end up destroying our lives because all we do is work so much. No, we're in the same group.
That's a little dramatic, but I get it.
Hey, you know, you've seen it happen though, where people get all crazy. And
so here's the thing. I don't know if this is your life too, but you know, Chris, when I first started selling real estate, I got in the go mode. I was like, I believed in hustle. I thought hustle was going to make it work. And you know what happened? I burned out.
You got tired, right?
I got exhausted. You can only do that
for so long.
You can only do it for so long. And here's the thing. The reason I was in that mode is I didn't have processes in place. Mm-hmm. I didn't have consistency in my marketing campaigns. I didn't have anybody that I was learning from. And I didn't have a great listing presentation. I didn't have a property marketing plan. I didn't have all of these tools and resources.
Or a community, a support community to be able to get help from.
You know, and so what I ended up doing is I went and I hired a coach. Mm-hmm. And I spent thousands of dollars a month on a coach to get what we're giving everybody for $67 a month. Yeah. So go sign up and let's get to the next question. Martin says, do we also get access to past presentations?
Yeah, all of them since 2013. Can you believe that? Gary and I have been doing training sessions twice a month since October of 2013. So yeah, you can go all the way back to archives. In fact, some of the highlights that are in there, I did one just yesterday.
Yeah.
And I gave away 3 email templates. One of the emails we sent out, it was our re-engagement email.
Oh yeah.
Generated over 80 grand in gross commissions, right?
One email we sent generated over $80,000 of commissions that we're going to be collecting.
And the beauty of the email was that it was the first time we had sent an email out to our database in
months.
A while, because we're like you guys, you know, we get busy and it's like, oh crap, we forgot to do our monthly value program. 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. Oh crap, it's been several months.
What? Here's the thing: it's we make the same mistakes you do. We're just working at correcting them and teaching you how not to make them.
So I gave away that, and then and I also did a recent training session on how to use YouTube, how to set up a YouTube channel. And
somebody was asking a question about that.
Yeah, I did a whole training on that. In fact, I can share with you guys some of the more recent training sessions that we've done if I just log into the website and show you guys where you access all your programs. So
this is actually great because Mary Valianti said, could you please run through the details of the monthly membership?
Yeah, sure. So you're going to get the monthly value program. To access that, you'll just go to the monthly digital marketing campaigns, and every single month a new one will get posted there. You can set up your marketing website with us by going to Agent ID site. I didn't mention this, but there's also a marketing suite. I mean, you can send out e-newsletters through here. There's an e-marketing suite. You just upload your database and send stuff out. Makes it really easy. And then this area called Coaching Club is where the training library and the archives, as well as all the individual resources, are located. So you just go to Resource Library, and you click on here, and you'll see all of the training sessions that we've done since the very beginning. Here's one on marketing effectiveness. We did a session on marketing effectiveness. We covered the campaign. We did one on how to create and promote your YouTube channel. There's lots of categories. So you see there's the branding category. There's lots and lots of categories: YouTube, video marketing, online reviews. We even have lots of updates to Facebook. So whenever Facebook does an update, we'll do an update on the training here for everybody. And so we've got, literally, there's hundreds of topics. We'd be here all day if I were to go through and read through each one of these, and I don't think you guys want to do that.
But it's in there.
But it is all in here when you join the club. So very easy to access all of that. So when you join the club today, not only will you get all those club features, which is the marketing campaign every single month, a website, access to the training library, access to the group coaching sessions, you also get our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program, which I literally just updated last week. So,
oh, you know, by the way, Lisa just said everything is changing in Facebook audience targeting.
No, that's why I updated it.
There you go.
That's why I updated it.
Yeah, Lisa.
Because people were asking about, hey, that whole likely to move category is going away. What do I do now? And so I needed to be able to address that with everybody. And so you'll get our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program. You're going to get Gary's listing presentation, and you'll get our property marketing plan when you join today. So definitely sign up right now. You don't want the day to get away from you and then miss out on some of these great bonus gifts. I mean, the bonus gifts are worth giving the club a shot. You know, I mean,
well,
the bonus gifts are worth it.
You know what? We have a lot of our current coaching clients on this broadcast. So if you're a current coaching client, Sam just said, just joined Yahoo. Welcome, Sam. If you're a current coaching client, go to the chat section and tell us what is your favorite feature of what we do.
Yeah, we love feedback on it, because tells us what to do more of and what not, and what to do less of.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, let's get to another question. Lisa says, why don't I see my Facebook ads in my Instagram feed? I can see that Instagram is included in the platforms for all my ad sets.
Well, why are you not seeing it in your own feed?
Because you're not your target audience.
You're not being targeted, most likely. I mean, you can, if you, so here's the way you would see your ads, is if you were to, I shared it with you guys how you can upload I already showed you how you can upload your database using that custom audiences feature. So if you're doing that, and then Facebook sees that, oh, you're included with that audience, and you have Instagram as a placement, it will. You really, you know, if you're not seeing it, it's not Facebook, it's you. Like, just keep in mind, if you're not seeing it, it's probably not Facebook. Now, here's another thing, is sometimes I won't see our ads. Like, sometimes I won't see our stuff because, you know, there's a lot going on in Facebook. Like, the crazy thing about Facebook is, you know, we have our targeting that we're going to tell Facebook to say, I want to get people like this, all right? And so what that really does, though, is it gives Facebook boundaries, because Facebook now uses machine learning to be able to decide who should see this post, who should see this advertisement, who should see whatever I'm sharing here on Facebook, who should see this. Now, when we give the targeting instructions to Facebook using Facebook ads, what that really does is it creates a boundary. And then within that boundary, the machine learning kicks in to say, of this pool of people, who are most likely to respond to this advertisement. And so that's something to take note, and know that when you're targeting, and that's why I spend so much time on, like, in the program, I spend a lot of time on right person, right message, right time, and how to create that audience of the people who are going to be, you know, have a predisposition to that right message that we're going to create. And so I know that was a long answer.
Yeah,
so we should
no, but that was a great question from Lisa. Angela says, Angela is a coaching client. She says there's so much content to consume and to share with our clients. Awesome. Stephen said, love the branded memes and videos are awesome. John says his favorite feature is our live teaching. And Stephen said the branded books on expireds and FSBOs are awesome.
So I want to answer Lisa's question.
Yeah, I was going to ask that too.
Yeah, Lisa says, I believe the custom audience feature is going away. And let me correct that. the custom audience feature is not going away. In fact, that's being expanded. That custom audience feature includes uploading your database, your website. They've recently added a whole bunch of new custom audiences around engagement, like people who've watched videos for a certain number of seconds, people who've engaged our Facebook pages. What's going away and has already gone away is the likely to move category, right? That was a very effective one. That used to be a very effective one. So that went away. And the other thing that went away was income-based targeting.
Right.
So you can't target that. But Facebook replaced that with, that's why I shared with you using the lookalike audiences. And by the way, I mean, like, I know that's not going away because you can read the Facebook plans for what they've done and where it's going and where they plan to expand the feature. So it's not, that stuff's not going away, but the likely move has gone away. So we're replacing that with custom audiences, lookalike audiences. And then I actually shared this on yesterday's session, training session, because I was in our ad account. I think I pulled up our ad account, which is right. I don't have my screen up right now, but I pulled up our ad account because someone was asking me something about Facebook. And I was like, well, let me pull my ad account and look. And I pulled it up and I was like, oh, by the way, one of the things that Facebook suggested that I replace the likely to move category was with one of the popular home search site portals.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so I've got multiple campaigns testing that, and so I'm actually using that popular home search portal, but then adding an additional exclusion because it's we have a lot of not all of our listings are luxury, by the way. We've got a good mix of both. Sure. It just so happened this one was a luxury listing, so there's also this luxury real estate interest that I was targeting. So I'm using that to be able to split test against our lookalike audiences. Anyway, every time I learn something new, I share it with you guys. But we're just not marketing luxury stuff. We've got a couple of homes that are, actually, I was surprised that one on Toyeth. I thought that was going to be a pretty rough go because the photos were not so awesome on it. But it did surprisingly well. So
probably because of the location of that home.
So I need to go back and I wanted to update that one a little bit more and tweak that campaign. But yeah, and like I said, we're doing this and we're sharing it with you. And what's the next question?
Matt says, as a brand new agent, should I create a real estate business page?
If you want to use the advertising tools,
right?
Yes, you must.
Because you cannot use the advertising platform without a business page. Now, I want to tie this to something else that just came in. Dylan said, my Facebook business page is still growing with a small amount of likes and followers. There's a lot of questions in there that are talking about, how do I get more likes and followers? And hold on. Here's the question. Will my ads still gain traction? Right. They're not tied together.
I want to address something.
Yeah.
Because this is an area where a little bit of information can actually be dangerous because it creates false expectations and false assumptions. And the worst thing that happens is you could end up going down a path that didn't matter. And let me give you an example.
Okay.
For a lot of people talk about, oh, it's so important to get engagement on your Facebook page, and it's important to get likes and yada, yada, yada. Important to get posts with people commenting and sharing.
That used to be.
That's like so 2013. It's like ridiculous. And I'm serious. Like that was 5 years ago type strategies. Yeah. Facebook has completely changed its tune in terms of how it wants us to use the advertising platform. Now, 5, 6, 7 years ago, yeah, that's what you did on Facebook, but that doesn't work anymore. So all of a sudden, because of the way Facebook wants us to use the platform, it breaks those assumptions or it breaks those things. So it's a waste of money now to really go pursuing getting a lot of likes and a lot of followers and posting 12 times a day on Facebook. It's just wasted effort and energy, because what matters now is the audience selection tools, the ability to put that right message in front of the right group of people using the right ad format. That's what Facebook wants us to do. And when we comply with what it wants us to do, guess what it does? It rewards us. It rewards us with low-cost advertising and increased effectiveness. And that's really what this whole program is about. It's not about making it more busy for yourself. It's not about going and having to do more stuff on social media. Heck, we only post on our social media Facebook page for our Creth partners like once a week, and I think I miss many weeks.
It's just because it's not as important.
It's not as important. Now, I'll tell you where I do spend a tremendous amount of time, and I'm probably in it almost every day, is our ad account. I'm always checking in on how our campaigns are doing and what I can do to get more traffic on that particular listing, or how do I get more people to see that video tip thing that we did, or how do I do that? because to me, that's where Facebook is very explicit on, this is how we want you to use this tool. It's like, okay. And then, a lot of people look at our account like, well, how are you getting people to respond to your stuff without spending so much money on it? Well, it's because I'm doing what Facebook's telling me to do, right? I'm not trying to force fit getting likes. I'm not trying to get people to, I'm not posting 20 times a day and hoping people are going to share it or like and comment on it, because Facebook said that doesn't work. And we're not going to reward people who do that. Instead, they've said, no, we want you to use lessons we've learned, right? We want you to use tools like video. We want you to use tools like the lead gen ads, the messenger ads. We want you to make sure that you're putting content that people care about in your campaigns and running them. And that's how they're going to reward us. And it's not like you have to spend thousands of dollars.
No,
a
you
month,
saw how
right?
much we're spending. We're not spending a ton of money.
I mean, I started off with a budget when I first started using Facebook back for our real estate business back in, was it 2013 or so? The budget I had was $300 a month. That's all I could convince Gary to spend at the time. I was like, $300 a month.
Well, at the time, it was unproven, and then you just hit boost, and you're like, well, it didn't work. And I'm like, oh, okay.
So, I started with $300 a month, and that budget had to cover many things. It had to cover marketing our listings. It had to cover marketing our database. It had to cover our lead gen. And I'll tell you what, I initially gravitated towards marketing listings and then just marketing to our database with these tools. And then I initially had some money going on cold traffic leads, but I realized the money was better spent in marketing to our database, and we're using it to expand the database, expand our geofarm areas, expand our influence in that. And that's where we started to see results. And that's where all of a sudden it was like, well, we went from 300 to 400, from 500 to 400 to 500. Eventually we're like $1,000 a month. And I was like, I can't believe we're spending $1,000 a month on Facebook. And the thing is that we wouldn't have spent the money, and we wouldn't have spent the 700 grand over the last 5 years if it didn't work. Like we're not, it's not like we're independently wealthy folks who can just throw money at these problems to figure out like, hey, let's just go waste 700 grand on Facebook. No, we spent the money because it worked, and we made it continue to improve its effectiveness.
You got it.
So anyway, I'm sorry. I keep long
by the way,
answers.
if you want to learn everything that this guy has mastered with Facebook, if you want to learn everything that I am doing to market, list, sell homes, and work with buyers, then just go sign up right now. Don't let the day get away from you. It's $67 a month, and you can cancel at any time. Make sure you do that right now so you get to get all those goodies. Sam says, can we print the e-newsletters? Yeah, you can do anything you want with them. You can print them, mail them out, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you can do. I mean, the thing is, when you get the marketing campaign, remember, the marketing campaign that we're going to send you, it's more than just a newsletter. And Gary, what I need to do real quickly.
You're going to share your screen?
I do need to share my screen, because I just want, it's important that I make this point so that everyone understands what's included with the marketing campaign that we provide everybody with. So let me just go to screen share, and I'm going to share my screen, and you just let me know when we're up and running with the screen share. And so every single month.
All right, you're live.
All right, every single month, you're going to get a blog post. Now, I did mention that you guys get a website when you join as well, and so we'll post that for you on your blog without you having to do anything, okay? So we'll post that on your blog, on the marketing website that we provide you. In addition to that, we're going to send you a PDF report. It always is on a specific theme. In this example, it was the Home Buyer's Guide to Getting Mortgage Ready. We always pick something that's real estate related that makes sense, you sending to people on the topic or connected somehow to the topic of real estate. And this is an important feature in that when you're marketing to people, you can market just like, oh, I'm awesome and you should work with me, or you could give them value. The lasting impression will be longer, and it'll linger, and it'll create more goodwill if you're providing value instead of just talking about yourself and your marketing. And so that's why we always lead with value first in that MVP. So you're going to see that that's how the campaign themes are structured every single month. The cover letters we provide for you to send out, they tie the whole campaign together, but that it's more than just sending out a newsletter. We're giving you Facebook posts, and you can run campaigns around the Facebook posts. You're getting Instagram posts, Pinterest posts. You're getting a phone script. My goal for you is to be able to essentially do what we're doing. Now, this might blow you guys away, but we have something going about, I think almost every week something's going out, right? We're either sending out our MVP, our monthly value program, or we're anything that's newsworthy or notable, right? So there's probably about 2 emails that go out a month. We market our video tips. So we do at least a video tip per week that gets marketed every single month. And then we always have our listings that are also going on, right? And so And any given week, there's something new constantly going out to that sphere of influence and into those geographic farm areas. And that keeps us always top of mind.
Yep.
Always present.
Right? Omnipresent, baby.
And so that's the goal for that monthly campaign for you guys when you join.
All right. Question from Takaya Ward. Takaya, hey, how are you? It's so
I
good to
remember Takaya from yesterday's coaching session.
Well, Takaya, Chris, Takaya has actually been a member of our coaching club since January of 2015.
Goodness gracious.
So welcome, Takaya. She says, do you update the Facebook program? I purchased and wanted to know if this stuff is included.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's in there. In fact, I just updated it. I've updated it twice in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
I had updated modules 4 and 5 because module 4 covers how to create and run ads. Module 5 covers how to use the different campaign objective types like lead generation versus video versus all the different forms of campaign types that are out there. And then I recently updated module 6 so that everyone understands how to use the Facebook Pixel. And for those of you who don't know what the Facebook Pixel is.
By the way, there were 3 questions about Pixel, and this is the answer.
So I covered that. I recently had to update that because that has changed as well. And for those of you who don't know what the Facebook Pixel is, it's a little tool, it's a little code, tracking code that you install on your website. And what that does is it allows Facebook to know that when someone has visited your website, you can then place advertisements to them in Facebook because it just tracks. Facebook says, oh, the pixel got called, so I know that this person visited this website. And so very, very effective. Where is it effective? Well, I'll tell you where it's effective. Like here's an example of a campaign that I like to run is that, we're constantly marketing listings on our website, and we're bringing that traffic from Facebook as well as several other sources. Well, if you visit my website to view a listing, I made a little bit of trust with you, right? Now, here's the thing. I probably on just that one listing, on that first time you came to my website, it wasn't enough trust for you to be able to say, I'm going to ask that person a question. So now, for a small percentage, that is the case. But I like to increase the percentages. So what I do is I use the Pixel to be able to say, I want anyone who has visited our website and they viewed a listing on our website, I want to invite them to come back to see more listings on our website. I want to invite them to come back and use our customized home search tools. I want to invite them to come back and look at more properties. I keep inviting them back because
this is like omnipresence on steroids.
No, so the technical term is called remarketing, right? But here's the thing. People, we understand about building trust in person. Most of you probably have some good understanding on how to build trust in person. Gary's an expert at it. His listing presentation reflects like the mastery level of building trust in a compressed time frame. The phone conversation, the scripts that you provide, those are all mastery of the in-person. Now, online is a little bit different. So online, when you're building trust, it is the same concept of frequency and recency and consistency, right? So you need consistency, but you're starting, and you do actually do the same thing, I guess, in IRL too, where you start by asking for little things before you start asking for big things. So, instead of, for example, you don't just jump in and say, hey, you want to sign this agreement? Then you're going to ask questions, right? You're going to get little yeses before you get the big yes. Well, you have to do that online as well. So getting them to view a listing on our website, for example, is a little yes. They clicked and they accepted our advertisement. They clicked on it and they went to our website. That was a little yes. A bigger yes is actually to have to fill out a form to say I have questions about it. So another next step up is, they're reminded, they see maybe another listing, or they're just invited to come back to our website. So every time they come back to the website, it increases their commitment to consistency. So if those of you familiar with Cialdini, he has that principle of commitment to consistency. So every time I invited to come back to the website and I fulfill on that action, now the momentum is gearing towards you're the website that I'm going to come to get information. So that retargeting principle keeps inviting them back, and it increases the levels of help that I offer. So the first time it's just view a listing. Well, the 5th or 6th time it's fill out a form, right? Search our website, pin a property to the board. Like that, you have increasing levels of ask or, getting those bigger yeses. You just don't go from, it's such a small percentage of people go from, all right, I go from an advertisement to a page and enter my email address. Like that's not effective spend. Now, you're going to do that type of spend, but the way you increase its effectiveness is by keep inviting them back.
Got it.
Right?
So you're just building trust over time
Right, and because what happens, 99, for most people, 97 to 99% of the marketing is like being wasted because you get a 1 to 2, maybe but between 1 and 3% conversion rate on your marketing. Well, that means 97% of the people are being ignored. Well, how do you recapture some of that? It's retargeting, just what I shared with you. Yeah. So, and by the way, that was a long answer to the pixel is what helps you do that. So it's important to use.
And by the way, he teaches all of that in the Facebook marketing for real estate. And like he just said, he just updated that.
That was last week. I think I updated the pixel stuff.
There you go. By the way, if you do want that, we're going to answer several more questions. But at the end of this broadcast, when we shut this down, that ability, the opportunity for the property marketing plan template is going to go away. So make sure that you sign up right now. It's $67 a month, and you're getting all those goodies. And Ramondo says, if you teach me the back end of Facebook, I will love you guys forever. I can create ads, but I don't know how to get the link clicks or other data out. Is this what you teach me?
Just go through the program.
Yeah. So answer is yes, that this is.
And if you go through the program and you still have questions, join us on one of the live training sessions, first and third Wednesday. You can also just email into the team. Sometimes people email into the team and then they'll say, hey, we keep getting this question, so I'll purposely put that on the agenda.
Training.
Right.
Yeah. Rick says, I just joined. Welcome, Rick. Martin says, do you have remarketing campaigns in the coaching club that we would have access to? Well, yeah, and so he teaches you how to do that by using the pixel, Martin. So yes, you do get
I mean, that Facebook marketing for real estate is going to show you how to functionally do that stuff. We have lots of campaign examples. You'll also want to go into the training library and look at previous sessions that we've done. But I could probably dedicate a whole session to retargeting.
I would imagine so. Jonah says, I usually post on LinkedIn as well as Instagram and Facebook. Is LinkedIn worth the time I invest in it?
I don't know. Is it? Is it working for you?
I guess it depends, doesn't it?
It depends on what you're doing. Yeah. So here's what I would say is if you're using LinkedIn and just posting random content, it's probably not doing anything for you. But if you've got a purposeful strategy behind how you're using LinkedIn, here's what I would say. Because we have training on LinkedIn. I've done lots of training on LinkedIn. And the number one thing you want to accomplish on LinkedIn is an all-star status profile. That is like an actual technical term, by the way.
Yes, it is.
And there are 10 things that LinkedIn wants you to do to achieve an all-star status profile. They're very specific. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but there's a training session that we did. I'll pull it up here. That we did on LinkedIn somewhere in here. Let me see if we actually have that as a topic. LinkedIn. I think it's part of online reviews or something like that. So when you achieve a LinkedIn, an all-star status, here you go.
There it is.
So we did it, I don't know, June 2016, and all-star status LinkedIn profiles. And so why is that important? Well, I think it's something like people with all-star status profiles get 40% more profile views than everybody else. The number of opportunities that get created for the person with an all-star status LinkedIn profile is significantly, like multiple, like I want to say it's like 10 times, but I'd have to pull up that information and look. But there's 10 easy things to do to have an all-star status profile. Here's the other reason why you want to do it. Check this out. Chris Scott Real Estate. All right, so when somebody searches for you, okay, LinkedIn is probably going to be in the top 5 search results. For me, you see that Gary, I don't think I've ever shared this with anybody. One of the strategies I taught on one of our training sessions is how to show up on Google when people search your name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I actually have an ad for myself when people search for me.
That's so great.
But notice here on number 3 is my LinkedIn profile. All right, and that's going to be the case for most of you is your LinkedIn profile is going to show up. You want to make sure your LinkedIn profile is going to be awesome. And the all-star status is, where does it show up? I think you have to look at your status over here. I think I'm getting off track by diving into LinkedIn so much. So let me go ahead and go back over here. But yeah, LinkedIn, have an all-star status profile, and then reconsider your strategy after that.
All right, quick question and quick answer, Chris. Scott says campaign objectives: reach versus traffic versus lead gen versus conversions.
Each one of those serves a different purpose.
And
there is not a which one should I use. It's which one should I use for the purpose that I have. Like with anything, let's say I've got a nail, and then I want to bang that nail into a piece of wood. Okay. I could use a screwdriver for it, but it's not the right tool.
I've actually done that before. It doesn't work out too well.
It's physically possible. It's probably painful and takes a long time.
Exactly.
I could probably use my phone.
That's a really bad idea.
That's probably a really bad idea. Yeah, it's probably going to damage the phone.
That's not what it's designed for.
But there are right tools to bang that hammer in there. It used to be a hammer, and now it's like that pneumatic thing, the air hammer thing that shoots the nail into the wood. So the thing is, those different campaign or objective types are like the different types of tools that you use for a different objective. And you might say, well, I only have the objective of getting clients. Well, yes, that's the end result, but within achieving that end result and that strategy, you're going to have multiple tactics lining up to that. Let's get out of Facebook, for example. We do a lot of email, and part of our strategy is we send emails out to get customers. The question for us is, the question you would not be asking us is, well, which email platform do you use to send out your emails to your customers? That's the wrong question. That's not what gets the customers. And the question is not, what did your last email say? It's, what's your email strategy? What are the components within that strategy that really make that strategy work or not? It's not about what email platform I'm using, right? And it's not about what single email message was. It's what's the whole strategy behind it. And that's what you find with campaign objectives. There's reach, there's impressions, there's all these different ones, and they serve a specific purpose. Because if your goal is to get the client, you're not just going to go from 0 to hero and have that client with just like one step. You don't do that. Just like with a listing appointment, we don't just knock on the door and show up. I know a lot of people do that, but there's a process to the listing appointment. And it starts with everything from initial consultation to the stuff we send out to Gary showing up and what we do after the fact. There's a process there. And acquiring a customer is the exact same thing. There's a process. A lot of us are trying to jump over all the steps and just go from, let me create this ad and get a client. Well, all of those things are important to address. And that's why Facebook has so many campaign objective types, is that it recognizes that it starts here, moves to the next step, moves to the next step, moves to the next step, and then I get the result that I want.
And then I'm in. All right, next question. Marjorie says, how does the club help new agents? I'm going to answer this one, Chris.
Yeah.
So when I first started selling real estate,
that was like in the olden days.
In the olden days, I had no idea what I was doing. And it's simply because there's very little effective training for new agents out there. There's, and in fact, my training literally was, here's your desk, here's your phone book, get to work. And I'm like, okay, dialing for dollars. And so what I did is it was tough. But what I did is I went and I sat outside of the #1 producing realtor in Austin at the time. Her name is Dee Schultz. I sat outside her office. She left her office door open. I sat outside on the floor with my notepad, and I took notes of everything that she was doing, everything that she was saying. And when she would leave the office, I'd go in and make friends with her assistant and say, so what are you guys doing today?
Yeah, where's she at?
Yeah, where's she going? Well, how did she get that client? Well, what are you guys sending out? How often are you doing? So I was asking these questions, and Dee, she's so lovely, took me under her wing, and she's been so kind. She's since retired, but that's what I had to do. And then I hired coaches, like I said, for thousands of dollars a month. Well, what we've done at Paperless Agent is we take everything that Chris and I do from the marketing and the sales aspects of real estate, and we bundle it up and we present it to you in bite-sized pieces that you can consume, so that you can build the real estate practice that you want. Here's a fact. 87% of realtors who get into the business leave the business within 3 years.
Ouch.
87%. And it's simply because we're not trained. We're not given, you know what we're trained on? We're trained on how not to get sued and how not to really ruin a client's life by misrepresenting them.
I always feel like the licensing process, I mean, I know it's necessary. But I feel like people end up with this false expectation that, okay, I've learned what I need to know, and now I can go do business. And really, when you first get into the business, you actually, that's when your learning starts, right?
That is when your learning starts, and the issue is that most of us actually end up having to learn the hard way, and that is by making all the mistakes of what not to do.
Yeah, I would think that there's a combination. When you're new, and the great thing about when you're new is you actually probably have the ambition and appetite for being able to take on more than you would 3, 5, 21 years into it, right?
Yep.
So right now is the time for you to figure out very quickly, what skills do I need? Now, one of the things you're going to be driven towards, and people will probably tell you, is you just need to learn how to get a client, or you just need to figure out how to get a client. And that's partially true. But the problem is, when you do get that client, if you don't know what to do, you're going to lose that client, or you're going to lose that client's potential referred and future business. Very, very bad thing for you to happen. That's a quick way to a bad reputation, online and offline. And so what's really important is that you have the necessary skills of, I'm going to get leads, all right, and then I got to figure that part of it. But the moment, because it happens quick, a person can turn from a lead prospect to active client like
bam,
very fast.
Yep.
Faster than you can actually learn to how to service that client well. And so it's important that you have the prerequisite skill. So what do you need to know to be able to take care of buyers? What do you need to know to be able to take care of sellers? Are you actively, as part of your diet in terms of what you're learning, include how to take good care of that customer? Or how do I go on that listing appointment when I meet with that when I show up there? Because have you ever had this experience? And I've done some cold calling in my life, and I know you have. Have you ever done cold calling and then someone answers? You're dialing, and it's all like no answer, no answer, no answer, no answer, no answer, and then somebody answers the phone, and you're like, wait a minute, I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't prepared for a live body to answer the phone. Now,
oh no,
and then you botch it. Like the
well, you do, because
you're botched, right?
You're caught off guard. You're not prepared, and you don't have the knowledge of what you need to say.
And so you don't want that to happen when you get that lead that turns into a prospect, that turns into an appointment, and then you botch the appointment because you weren't prepared. So new agents, make sure you're learning not just how to get the customer, but really how to take care of that customer. It's also really bad, by the way, it's really bad for our industry when folks go out there and they don't know how to take care of the client. It's bad for all of us when that happens.
Well, it gives us all a dark smear, and it's not what
so learn that while learning how to get a new customer. And I think we've got a really good array and menu of things for you to be able to learn, whether it's using tools like Facebook to start that initial finding clients and using them. But then you can use tools like our listing presentation or property marketing plan templates to be able to say, all right, get that client. Now here's what I'm going to do with it. And there's lots of other stuff that we covered during there as well. So there's lots of clients on here who shared with you some of their favorite things. And that's what I would suggest that you do. Because new agents are really hungry for that advantage. Well,
of course. And that's the beauty, is giving a new agent a competitive advantage over a seasoned agent who is not making these same promises, who has the same knowledge and can execute on this. So like it's a huge competitive advantage.
You might even, some of the things, like if as a new agent, maybe you get good at some Facebook skills so that you could offer some value to a seasoned agent who might take you under their wing too.
That's a good idea too.
Might be a way for you to start marketing listings if you kind of said, hey, I'll market
your listings. Okay, quick shout out to a lot of our newest members, Chris. We have Ramon, Lauren, Pamela, Nick, Lori, Larry, Alicia, Latasha, Cynthia, Alexander, Kim, Ramondo, Anita, Daphne, Venetia, Pauline, Alice, John, Robert, Renee, Robert, Tara, Chris, Barbara, Jeff, Hong, Mac, Daniel, Mike, Jeff, Ed, Gary, Judy, and more. So welcome to the coaching club. This is Chris and Gary's Paperless Agent Coaching Club. We are delighted that you are trusting us with your education and your knowledge, and also delivering you amazing marketing materials to be able to stay in touch and create that omnipresent marketing for yourself. And right now you're here because you want to master Facebook marketing for real estate. So what you're going to do is go sign up right now, and you're going to get our coaching program But in addition, when you sign up today, you're getting these bonuses. You're getting our Facebook marketing for real estate that Chris has really mastered over the past 5 years of spending over almost $700,000 to master it for you. And then today, when you sign up, you're getting my listing presentation templates and the scripts and dialogues that I use on every single listing appointment that I go on. And you're also getting our property marketing plan template. This is a document that helps me secure my listings and also build trust with prospective sellers before I even show up to their home. So go sign up right now, get started. I just posted that link over there again. I know it says this offer will end soon. We're going to leave that up for you a few more minutes so you can get signed up. So go do it right now. Join Mark, Samantha, Darren, Michelle, William, Peggy, Aaron, Christiana, John, Bentley, John, Carrie, Jim, and Kelly, all of our newest members as well. We cannot wait to see you in our program. We can't wait to see you on our next coaching session, and we're delighted to see you in our private Facebook group as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Gary, and thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next coaching session. We'll see you online.
Oh, and Martin says, is this Gary's latest listing present? It's this is my absolute latest. This is the exact one that I'm using, Martin. So when you sign up today, you're going to get the latest and greatest. So go do it now.
See you online. Take care. Bye.